I've been working on the ultimate Animal Crossing lore video, and while I was doing some research, I came across some crazy but also somewhat convincing theories about Animal Crossing. Okay, they're not all convincing, some are just borderline fanfic, but with a game that doesn't have a ton of lore included in it, it's nice to see some people's Animal Crossing conspiracy theories. I previously did a video on the game theorist ideas, so if you want to see those, go check that out, but those aren't included in this video. The first theory, we're living in a simulation controlled by aliens. This one, it might be true. We'll never know until someone decodes whatever aliens are telling us. The TV isn't the only place where the aliens exist in this world either. In City Folk, Gulliver flies a UFO. It's unclear if he's actually an alien or if he's secretly a kleptomaniac and just steals ships and UFOs for fun. My secret theory is that Gulliver is out here just playing Animal Crossing GTA and we're a lowly NPC dealing with his shenanigans. I think if we are being controlled by aliens, there would be way more evidence. All of our island's resources, experiences, it's all pretty normal for our human world, except the whole talking villager thing, I guess. But if aliens were controlling us, there would be more than just a TV program that pops up once a week at 3 a.m. Although we do have glowing moss, which is pretty alien-like, so maybe that's just the first instance of aliens messing up and sending us something from their world. I don't know. Which leads us to this next person's theory that Gulliver is such a menace his crew throws him overboard as a last-ditch effort to try to murder him. This one, it's probably true. I understand. Sometimes I just leave him unconscious and probably concussed on the island pretty frequently. You know, it's been 5 years, I should probably finally get that golden shovel recipe. Maybe I'll just leave him to die. But I definitely believe the whole crew wants him to die theory. He just keeps going back or finding a new crew to annoy each time after we rescue him. I always wondered why they let him back on the ship, but he has wings. Maybe he just flies back on and the crew continues to dump him into the water over and over again. And the Gulliver costume is just a fake identity so he can try to trick the same crew into believing that he's someone different. But they either see through it, obviously, or Gulliver is just as annoying and the whole dumping cycle repeats. The next theory is also based around the whole we're in a fake reality but don't know it concept. According to folklore, Tanukis will trick people by giving them money or some other valuable item, and then in the end it all just turns into leaves, which is where this whole leaf turns into furniture idea came from for the game. So what if, this whole time, we were in a fake world and everything we thought was furniture or money is actually a pile of leaves? Maybe this is Nook's next business venture. He told us he went to the city and failed during his adventure over there. But maybe he never did fail. Going to the city was where he got trained in the art of tricking the public. He learned how to make us see these piles of leaves as expensive furniture items instead of worthless foliage. You can make a lot of profit if you're just grabbing leaves off of trees and selling them for crazy prices. No wonder he set up shop in a forest. It's a great place to do so. I'm seeing a pattern with most of these theories. They all suggest that we're living in some kind of simulation or experiment. Is this because we have animal villagers that can talk, and that's just so out of this world for even a fantasy game that we must be in some kind of simulation? Although I guess we technically are in a simulation because it's a life simulation game. Another theory is that all the animal neighbors are actually stuffed animals, and the world of Animal Crossing is just part of our brains. Kind of like how in Winnie the Pooh, it's just Christopher Robin's imagination. This one actually has some pretty strong evidence if we pay attention to the villagers. Just look at Stitches. His design is obviously based on a stuffed animal, so why wouldn't he actually be a stuffed animal? Hopkins has his blow-up valve in the back. Coco's just straight up a gyroid. She even lives underground. And I guess Tangy is an orange with a face drawn on it or something, I don't know. But I do like this theory. I guess the only caveat is our mom sending us letters. This probably wouldn't happen if we were living at home playing with our stuffed animals, unless she's just entertaining our imagination and sending us letters like we've moved out. This theory has so many layers. What if we are living in Toy Story, but instead of the stuffed animals playing dead when we show up, they play dead when our mom shows up? I don't know. We might need a therapist. Another theory that's been brought to my attention frequently is the one that states that we are in a zoo. And not just that we're attending a zoo, but we are the exhibit. Everyone and everything around us are solely for our enrichment. We are given meaningless tasks of delivering items to other villagers, decorating our house for almost no reason other than to just kind of do something, and everyone else is just playing along. There's money in trees and rocks, debt that means nothing, pointless currency, aka Nook Miles that we work towards for, again, no reason. It's why the villagers are always nice to us no matter how many times we hit them with a net. I mean, they do pretend to get angry, but they get over it pretty quickly and then pretend like nothing happened. At first, I thought this theory was silly. There were almost 50 million copies of New Horizons sold, which means there are technically almost 50 million humans in this universe. From the outside, 50 million of one species kind of seems like a lot. How do you fit all that in one zoo? But then I thought about it. If our world population went from 8 billion to 50 million, well, that's a significant loss of life. It's only about 0.625% of the number of humans that we had. To become an endangered species, you need to either have loss of habitat or loss of genetic variation. And we kind of have both. There are a very limited number of options in the character creator, and we're stuck on these tiny islands with nowhere else to go. I can only assume that some catastrophic event happened to wipe out 99% of the population, which forced us to live in a tiny area. So maybe we are just living in a zoo, and the player camera that follows our character is one of those zoo live streams that you see all over YouTube. I do like this theory though. It adds a dark side to Animal Crossing, and while this definitely isn't true, because the devs obviously want this to be a happy-go-lucky game, it kind of still has some legs. Though, where's our mom kept? She's writing us letters, so she's obviously still alive. Maybe she's just in her own zoo. And speaking of dark theories, this next one is all about how we're actually dead, and the island or town that we're living in is really purgatory. All of the tasks and quests that our villager sends us on are our way of making up for our sins while we were alive. Our mom's letters and gifts are things that she had left by her grave rather than stuff that she's mailing, and the memories in her letters aren't just her reminiscing because we moved away, but rather reflecting on her life and time with us. I really like this theory, and again, want it to be true, but this one letter from our mom in the original Animal Crossing really kills this when she tells us she'll never understand why we decided to go live with animals instead of staying in the human world. No purgatory, no zoo, just us deciding that we're done with humans and wanted a new life. Honestly, I totally get if somebody told me I could go live with the nicest animals in the world in the forest and just leave humans behind, I would totally pack up my life and go. It sounds like a nice break. What's your favorite Animal Crossing theory? Let me know down below, subscribe, or you'll be stuck in purgatory with Tom Nook forever. And I'll see you next time. Bye!